Welcome to 630 Naperville. I'm Paige Ronchetti.
And I'm Nathan Ronchetti. We're so glad you could join us.
We've got a fantastic lineup for you today. Samira Luthman explores preschool with the Naperville Park District. Katie Wood is back around downtown to Miskatonic Brewing Craft Kitchen. Nathan learns more about the DuPage County Trade Apprenticeship Expo at PowerForward DuPage, and Chris Grano presents another edition of Naper Bites.
But first, Paige heads to Basko Dermatology.
Dr. Basko, thank you so much for having me here in your beautiful new office.
So glad to have you here, Paige.
Yes, this
Welcome.
is stunning.
Thank you.
So tell me a little bit about the changes you've made to your facility here.
So we recently expanded our space in order to provide a better patient experience from check-in to check-out, as well as be able to provide more medical, surgical, as well as cosmetic services. Really, our goal is to have patients be happy to be here in the office, feel welcomed, feel like they are well taken care of by our providers, as well as have most of the services done under the same umbrella.
I mean, it is definitely a happy space for sure.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
So today we're going to learn a little bit about cosmetic dermatology, which might be a little bit different than what people normally think of when they think of visiting the dermatologist. So what is cosmetic dermatology?
You're absolutely right. So cosmetic dermatology is a branch of dermatology that really focuses in improving the appearance of skin, hair, and nails for cosmetic reasons. There's a lot of cosmetic dermatology services that really aim at improving the skin texture, providing facial rejuvenation, as well as improving the appearance of wrinkles, restoring lost volume or enhancing volume, as well as helping with pigmentary changes.
Wow, I did not realize there was so much. I really want to see what you do here. Can we take a look?
Of course, absolutely. Let's head over to one of our exam rooms.
So what procedures are done in here?
So in here we do the hydrofacial treatments. So this is a hydrofacial machine, Paige. So hydrofacial is actually a non-invasive facial treatment. And the purpose of that is just to enhance volume, to improve the texture of the skin, as well as give hydration. There's different types of hydrofacials. There's the basic hydrofacial, and there's a few steps that we incorporate into that. We use peels to cleanse the skin, and then we use a vortex technology to open up the pores, remove any debris or impurities, and then we infuse hyaluronic acid to give hydration to the skin. However, with the hydrofacial, we can do a lot of different things, and we can customize it to the patient's needs. Sometimes we'll infuse different boosters to provide even more hydration or plumping up of the skin. Sometimes we'll use a booster to help with hyperpigmentation. In addition, we can incorporate LED light therapy, blue light therapy for our acne patients, because blue light is anti-inflammatory, so it can help with acne. And then we can also incorporate the red light therapy for our rosacea patients who have a lot of redness in their skin, or for facial rejuvenation. It is a fairly quick procedure. It takes about 30 minutes here in the office. There's not much discomfort at all during the procedure. Afterwards, the skin is glowing, and a lot of our patients really rave about how their skin looks and feels.
I can't believe this is for a facial. Normally you think the application of serums on the skin, usually by hand, but this is amazing.
You're absolutely right. It is a medical grade facial, so it is great for our patients.
Wow. So in addition to this, do you do any injectables like maybe Botox or something like that?
We do. We actually do Botox and fillers. As you know, Botox is a toxin that relaxes the muscles. And the goal of Botox is to relax those fine lines as well as wrinkles. It has been FDA approved for treating the lines in the glabella, forehead, as well as crow's feet, although we can use it off-label for a lot of other reasons. The beauty of Botox is that injections are fairly quick, so they take only a few minutes. There's not much downtime. The procedure there's not much discomfort associated with the procedure. And afterwards, patients do not expect much in terms of redness, swelling, bruising, or anything like that. It lasts about 3 to 4 months, so it is a temporary solution for those wrinkles. It is not permanent, and it takes about 2 weeks to see the effects. Filler, on the other hand, so we do fillers, right? Fillers are used to either enhance volume or restore the volume that we have lost. There's many different types of fillers. Most of them are made of hyaluronic acid, which is actually a natural substance that we all have in our skin, but over time we start losing it. So we use fillers to restore volume on the nasolabial folds, marionette lines, sometimes even to give more volume to the lips or the cheeks. Sometimes we use it to correct the temples. When we do fillers, the procedure takes about 15 minutes or so. We tend to numb our patients. That way it's not very uncomfortable while we're injecting. There is a little bit of redness and swelling, probably for a couple of days. That's to be expected, and sometimes bruising for about a week. But after a week, patients are really happy and the results look very natural.
Yeah, so lots of quick and easy things can be done here.
Correct.
So do you also I've heard of microneedling. Is that something you offer as well?
We do. We actually offer 2 different types of microneedling. Why don't we head over to our next exam rooms and I can show you.
Oh, perfect. Okay, Dr. Basko, let's talk about microneedling.
So in the office, we do 2 different types of microneedling. We do the traditional microneedling as well as the radiofrequency microneedling, which is this machine. So I'll show you a little bit about the traditional microneedling. So that is done with a handheld device, which is fairly simple. It's called a pen. The specific one is the skin stylus. We have cartridges that we put on this pen. These cartridges have a lot of needles in them, and we use those needles to create these micro injuries to the skin. As the skin heals, there's an inflammatory response as well as collagen production, and that's what we're aiming for with the microneedling, that collagen production to improve the texture of the skin for facial rejuvenation. The traditional microneedling is a fairly quick procedure, minimally invasive. It takes about 30 to 45 minutes here in the office. We usually tend to numb our patients to minimize the discomfort. Patients will expect some pinpoint bleeding during the procedure and a little bit of scabbing for a couple of days, but within 2 days, their skin looks awesome. The radiofrequency microneedling, it's sort of a step further.
This guy right here.
That's right. So those needles are actually charged with radiofrequency waves. And radiofrequency is a type of energy that can heat up, the tissue, especially the deep layers of the skin. And in so doing, it promotes more collagen formation, but it can also help degrade that abnormal collagen that we sometimes will have in hypertrophic scars or keloids. So as you can imagine, both the traditional microneedling as well as the RF microneedling are used a lot, not just for facial rejuvenation and tightening of the skin, they can also help improve the acne scars. So we have a lot of acne patients who come in to improve their acne scars. We can also use the RF microneedling especially to improve the hypertrophic scars or keloid scars. With the RF microneedling, there's a little bit more downtime, about a week. We expect the same pinpoint bleeding for a couple of days, and then after that, the skin becomes very dry, and then those dead cells, get shed off within a week. After a week, the skin is glowing, patients are really happy. We typically recommend doing both procedures every 4 weeks. Usually 4 to 5 sessions are helpful. A lot of our patients will do sort of maintenance sessions every 6 months to a year.
Wow. This is also so amazing. I had no idea anything like this existed.
It is great. It is a great treatment for the face as well as the neck.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for teaching me about all of these amazing procedures today. I learned so much, and it was great to see your beautiful new office, too.
Thank you, Paige. Thank you for coming.
Up next, Samira Luthman learns more about preschool at the Naperville Park District.
I wish I had preschool at a park.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Samira Luthman with the Naperville Park District, and welcome to Park It. Today I'm at beautiful Seeger Park with the Interpretive Center in the background, and I'm joined by Early Childhood Coordinator Sarah. She and I are here to talk about all the learning opportunities that are available across our park system. As someone who is involved in early childhood education, what are some of the ways that a park like this one can expand the classroom and learning for children?
Well, to begin with, when we expand the classroom, it takes the children from being observers to active participants. While they're connecting with nature, they're learning very valuable life skills, such as communication and cooperation. There's healthy risk management that can lead to a growth in their confidence, foster independence, and they can also become more environmentally conscious. And the more environmentally conscious people we have in our community, the better it is for our planet.
Now, obviously there are opportunities for people of all ages to learn in our parks.
Oh, of course.
So what's an example of an activity that you would give your nature preschoolers that adults can enjoy and learn from as well?
To begin with, our children learn that being in nature doesn't always have to be structured. However, one thing that we do facilitate for the kids is helping them to learn their senses and use their senses while they're outdoors. When we tap into our senses, what are we hearing? What are we feeling? What are we touching? What are we seeing? All of those things. It actually has great health benefits. It can reduce our stress.
Okay.
It can actually help with our sleep habits. It can reduce our fight or flight response, and it can actually help with creativity and productivity. But besides that, maybe perhaps an activity that the children do is a scavenger hunt that could also be applied to adults, and giving ourselves sort of permission to explore and discover. Maybe something that people could try is maybe apps like Google Lens to find out what is in our green spaces and forested
That's
area.
really fun to use.
Yeah, super fun. There's another app called Merlin, which is free, that's organized by Cornell University, that can find birds by sight and sound, or maybe picture this to identify plant life.
Okay.
So just maybe a little game of I Spy that you can play.
Sure. What does nature playtime look like for teens and older adults?
Obviously, Naperville offers so many opportunities. And really, again, play kind of starts out with giving ourselves permission to do it as adults with our busy lives.
Sure.
Play can, maybe you're looking to be more social, and social activities can include maybe anything from geocaching to a bird watching group. Maybe you can get in a walking club. Can take in all the different outdoor events. Maybe just a stroll through a farmer's market. That could be something social. If you're looking for something a little bit spicier, maybe competitive, maybe taking up paneling or disc golf. Those are great ways to play outside.
Sure.
And play can also be a way that we can relax. Really just finding a great place to take a hike that's a terrain that you enjoy. Doing something like outdoor yoga or maybe journaling outside can be a great way to relax. Taking your art outside, something like orienteering, doing something that you can to connect with nature and sort of reduce that stress level.
Well, and with 138 parks just in Naperville, and that's just Naperville Park District, that doesn't even talk about the Forest Preserve districts and all those other opportunities.
Absolutely.
There are so many opportunities for people to go outside and enjoy everything that there is to offer.
Definitely. DuPage County and Will County offer world-class green spaces. There's over 80 preserves in our counties. There's over a dozen nature centers. We have beautiful waterways, the Des Plaines, DuPage, Salt Creek, just to name a few. So there really are so many opportunities to get out there. Many of them they're free or little to no charge and easily accessible.
That's wonderful. Now, with all those opportunities, some people could even be overwhelmed. So if someone is inspired to maybe learn a little bit more about the outdoors or take advantage of some of the benefits of being outdoors and enjoying different activities, what would you recommend as far as them getting started?
Oh, absolutely. I think that we have, very thorough websites for all of our counties and our park districts, and people in customer service that are really willing to help. We're so lucky that our parks have great interpretive signs that can kind of lead to us and point, in a direction of where we want to go. So many events that are being offered, classes, lecture series, all types of things. So I think that there's really something for everybody.
Sarah, thank you for joining me today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I love being here at Seeger Park.
It's beautiful, absolutely. And learning is a lifelong process, and we know that our parks can really provide wonderful opportunities to do that for people of all ages. I hope that you've been inspired to get out into nature and see everything that there is to offer and learn and enjoy. Again, thank you, Sarah, for joining me. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time on Park It.
After the break, Katie Wood takes viewers to Miskatonic Brewing Craft Kitchen.
Stay tuned for more 630 Naperville.
Downtown Naperville is the destination of choice to shop, dine, stay, and explore. With a delightful mix of more than 100 shops, from the nationally known to family-owned favorites. Plus, over 50 restaurants catering to every taste. And Hotel Indigo, located right on the Riverwalk. From serene spas to exciting events, there's something for everyone to enjoy. So come explore downtown Naperville.
Hi Naperville, I'm NBC5's Stephen Holt here, prepping, getting ready for the morning show. I'm excited to sit down for some coffee and conversation with some of Naperville's notables. Come join me at the Matrix Club in support of your hometown television station, NCTV 17.
There are so many businesses you know and love in downtown Naperville. Today, we are here to shine the spotlight on one of the newest businesses downtown. Welcome to Miskatonic Brewing Craft Kitchen. So Josh, you've been open since November, Miskatonic Craft Brewing Kitchen.
Yes.
Tell us how it all began.
Well, in terms of the original location in Darien, it began over a decade ago with my partner and I becoming craft brewers. We started out, as most craft brewers did, as home brewers, just hobbyists, and then we figured out like you could do it and get paid. So we joined the craft brewing community years back. But we had always wanted to have a place that had a kitchen. We think very much that like what led us into craft beer is how thoughtful craft beer is in taking something that you're just drinking, something we all know very well, beer, and just finding all the different ways you can have fun with it. I mean, that can be applied to any culinary item as well. And so we've always wanted to have a kitchen to do that with food. And so when we're looking for a second location, we're both Naperville community members. Our kids go to the schools here, and so we always wanted it to be in Naperville for our second location, and we always wanted to have a kitchen. So
Wonderful.
this allows us to do that.
Thank you for being in Naperville. It's just, it's incredible. So tell us specifically, how many beers on tap? What do you offer? What makes you guys unique here?
So we have 12 beers of our own on tap that we brew ourselves. We don't have any guest drafts. We keep wine on tap, and the reason we do that is we are very selective about highlighting whatever wines we want to highlight. So we won't have the same Cabernet every time, but we always want to have a Cabernet that we like got to try with the supplier, talk to the suppliers. Again, everything we try to make as thoughtful as when we make our own beer. And then our food's the same way. We hand make all of our own sausages in-house. We always have at least 5 kinds of sausages on the menu, and we make them here in the kitchen. We also work really hand in hand with farms in the area. There's about 6 or 7 farms within 70 miles of here that we get as much of our produce as we can. And we always use, brunch or other features to highlight what's seasonally available right now. So you might always find a cheese item on our small plate menu, but that cheese is going to change with the season.
So incredible. So you're open, you mentioned brunch, so you're open lunch, dinner, and brunch.
So we're open for dinner only during the week, Tuesday and Wednesday. Okay. And then Thursday through Sunday, we're open for lunch and dinner, and we have brunch on the weekends. So on brunch, we always have 5-6 items that highlight, again, the seasonality of things.
Yeah.
And that allows us to feature interesting, cool brunch items alongside in our regular menu.
That's great. And so you do live here, you support the community, your kids are in Naperville schools. Talk about a few of the events that you have on the horizon or you're thinking about.
So we try and always take advantage of celebrating the seasonality just like we do with the food. So, Oktoberfest time, we're going to have Oktoberfest things going on. Near the holidays, we'll have lots of those things as well. We'll be celebrating our 1-year anniversary this December. And in general, we try to work hand in hand with both other businesses in the community as well as nonprofit organizations, schools.
Wonderful.
We essentially try and use almost every Wednesday that we can to help fundraise for a school or community program. in the area, so we'll always highlight, hey, this is the night that we're going to be raising money for this cause. And then once a month, we always try and partner with one not-for-profit where we do a drink that is going to highlight them or something along those lines. The fall season, we always do a Spay Illinois partnership where you can get your dog or your cat on a West Coast Wizard or IPA. The can will actually draw it so that the wizard's walking a cat or a dog. We just try and find every opportunity to interact and work with our community, because at the end of the day, that's what got us into brewing. It's such an inclusive, fun group of people, and it really is about staying as active as possible with the people around you, whether it be the farmers you're getting your food from, or the community that you do your business.
That's great. That's the secret to success here in Naperville, so I applaud you. So I was fortunate enough to have an incredible array of food here for lunch one day. Talk about a few of your favorites on the menu that people should come and definitely try.
Great. Well, I'll talk about one thing that I know will always be on the menu, and then I'll talk about something that is like, I love it because it's seasonal and I can't get it all the time. One of the things we always have on the menu, and it highlights some of the stuff we do, we have a little bit of Filipino food strung throughout, cuisine strung throughout the menu. My wife is Filipino, and we could not get over the fact that it's such great food, but you cannot find it at many restaurants. So we have a few items like that, and my favorite item that highlights Filipino cuisine is tocino, is a pork belly dish that is glazed, slow cooked, and then normally served over rice, but we have actually turned it into a sandwich where it's essentially, it takes 3 days to make the pork belly. We have to smoke it, glaze it, season it, and then we turn it into a sandwich with a lime serrano dressing slaw that's made with green papaya on the top. It's like the most refreshing pork belly sandwich you'd ever have. And then currently we have a tomato BLT that is outrageously good. Everything's from, like I said, within 70 miles in the entire sandwich. So it's just the absolute best tomatoes for the peak season. Slagle Farms bacon, it is just unbelievable bacon, and it's right down there in Fairbury, not far from us. So.
And I had that, and you said it was the world's best, and I would agree. That was the best
yeah,
BLT
I try
I've
to stay
ever
modest,
had.
but I swear it's the BLT you'll stand up all BLTs to for the rest of the day.
That's right. That's right. It was great. So you have a really unique logo over here. Tell us about what this means.
So our logo, we wanted to really show sort of what got us into brewing and what sort of drives us when we create food or drink here. We wanted something sort of striking, which is why it's a silhouette. And what made us love craft beer, and generally anything that has to do with hospitality, is something that's comfortable, comforting, approachable, and something you know, something that is familiar. And then what craft beer does is takes that familiar thing, beer, we all understand what beer is from some moment in time, and get a little odd with it. And so that's what the logo does. The logo starts out very normal and then just takes a turn. So that's also why it's the largest sign on the front. It's big, like you see that before you see the name of the place. But essentially, we wanted it to be a very upstanding, respectable looking woman that suddenly things get interesting and odd by the end of the logo.
Got it. That's great. Well, I love it. It's very unique. You come sit here at the bar and you look at that and you're like, it's just a conversation starter. So I'm really enjoying my beer. I guess we should say cheers.
Indeed.
We'll drink to that. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
A career in the trades isn't often promoted for young people, but it should be.
I'm off to PowerForward DuPage to learn more about these careers in the DuPage County Trade Apprenticeship Expo. Excited to be here today, and we're talking about the DuPage County Trade Apprenticeship Expo. So tell me a bit more about that.
Well, definitely one of TJ's and I's most favorite things to talk about. This is our annual time to kind of open up the doors here and let in, residents, parents, career school counselors, high school students, and even, recent college graduates, really just anybody looking to maybe further their interest and explore a career with the trades.
And so good opportunity for us to think about the trades and really why it's important to look for a career in that field.
Well, definitely. I mean, a few years ago, we kind of noticed this trend where many high schools had discontinued, the traditional shop class.
Yeah.
And when we would go out to speak, a lot of students just really didn't know what it meant to even be an electrician or a carpenter or a plumber. And so we decided to ramp up some efforts here locally and put together the Trade Apprenticeship Expo, and yes.
Something that I think we found the most success with is for this, we're asking people that are interested to bring kind of their community with them. So your guardians, your parents, anybody that you're looking for advice for, you know, there's a lot of people that ask that question, what am I going to do after high school? So by coming here, you start finding those different pathways. And what most people don't realize is there's a lot of opportunities here in building trades, and then also just for your future, like the success and the packages that we put together. You know, I think that we laugh, we call it the bruised arm exhibit, because we're talking to the students and the people that are interested, and the people that you know come along with them, their parents or guardians, and they're sitting there punching them in the arm like, pay attention, pay attention, pay attention, and they're like really impressed by the stuff that we put together, the school that they're going to be into, and then really the future that we've been able to provide with them as well.
And so I understand there's a workshop component as part of JATC. So can you tell me a bit more about that?
Yeah, so again, like Karen was saying, we get to hallmark a lot of our school and what we provide. So we are an Earn While You Learn program, and you're going to come in, and we have a lot of our groups here. And so within this community, we have a licensed women in trades group. We have a Renew committee, which is anybody that's 34 years and younger. We have veterans groups, and we bring them all in, and we have them available, as well as our apprentices that are currently in the program. We have classrooms going so people can walk in and actually see what the classroom setting looks like. Our instructors are there to answer questions. We bring them into this shop area, and we do some hands-on with them so they can start getting a feel for what it's like to be in there and be a student. So we really try to make it inviting and give personal one-on-one attention to people that are coming through by having access to our apprentices, having access to our instructors, and then these other committees and groups that we have.
And then I understand as part of JATC, you've got some apprentices here that we're going to talk to.
Yeah, that's correct.
When I first started, I had no experience with working with tools or anything. So it was definitely rougher for me at the beginning, but I feel like everybody around is, if you have to ask any questions or anything, you can go to our apprenticeship director, the teachers, the journeyman, the foreman. Everyone's kind of here to build you up. Nobody's really here to tear you down.
I kind of had like a 2-year gap after high school where I didn't know what I wanted to do. There was nothing ever really shown about it. Nobody came to our schools. There wasn't classes for it. I'm working out in Racine, so it's a huge job, and I do peek around just to see, and it's so empowering to see more women. And even during taking the test here, I looked around too, because we can do it too.
I wasn't expecting anything in this trade. First of all, this trade is a huge range of work. I'm learning something new every day, doing different stuff all the time. If you're very tactical and hands-on, like most of us are, I think it's the way to go.
So I can come in, find my life's work, get placed, earn while I'm learning, and set myself up for a generation.
Exactly. And I would say, admittedly, it's a lot. Yeah. That's why we put together the expo, to make it a little bit easier, Yeah. It is Thursday, October 24th from 3:30 to 6:30 p.m. You can sign up on PowerForward.DuPage.com.
Excellent. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
After the break, explore another restaurant with Naper Bites.
We really see bread and butter dermatology like acne, rosacea, hair loss, warts, all the way to more complicated conditions like an autoimmune connective tissue disorder like lupus or dermatomyositis, or an autoimmune blistering condition. In addition, I do provide surgical services, and that encompasses surgical removal of atypical moles, something as benign as a cyst or lipoma, all the way to skin cancer. And then we do offer cosmetic services. Every patient who comes to Basko Dermatology really feels heard. They receive personalized care. They will never feel rushed. See your dermatologist regularly. Even something that can look very innocent to our eyes, such as a pink bump that is completely asymptomatic, can actually turn to be a deadly cancer. Amelanotic melanoma can present just like a pink bump. And I have seen many pink bumps even in young adults. If there is one thing that I want to emphasize, it is go and see your dermatologist regularly, once a year to start with, and then more frequently if necessary.
Being a dad in Naperville can't be all about soccer games and PTL meetings. Sometimes I want a night out in the town. And while downtown is great, there's a growing scene here on Route 59 anchored by this incredible venue. We're in the Matrix Club. If you want performing arts, whether it be theater, dance, visual art, they've got it all. And right now, we're gonna test our sense of taste here in the Matrix Room and Meg's Lounge. right, we're here at the Matrix Room, Meg's Lounge with Chef Alonzo. Chef, thanks for having us, man.
Thank you for having me. It's definitely a pleasure being able to cook this food for you. So we're gonna start off with one of our appetizers, and this is our Indian samosas.
Like, I love when you bring street food into like just, it's like casual, but into a fine dining atmosphere. Like,
Yeah, it's one of the many things that we definitely try to, do is just try to represent, cultures very well throughout the food that we have.
so you mentioned in the back, I mean, these are made in-house. This isn't like shipped in,
No.
frozen, like this is the real deal.
A lot of the stuff that we have, we make in-house, which is really, really good.
It's so warm, right? Like, I love it. And that's like the fall menu too, right? Like, you get those spices and
It's like a hug.
that's a good way of describing it. So if you lived in Chicagoland for any amount of time, you know there's a strong Mexican-American community here. We just celebrated Mexican Independence Day. It's a big party time in town. So we're about to eat this fantastic Mexican-Italian dish. Tell me about it, Alonzo.
So here we have a sweet corn and poblano ravioli. It's pretty much a spin-off of elote. Okay. So I pretty much try to build all the flavors together in one pan and kind of centralize it and keep it there. That way it thickens up and adds that corn, flavor to the ravioli itself.
I love the sweetness from the corn, right? It's so light. Then I love the Mexican cheese on top for like a little bit more sharpness.
Last but not least, we have our beautiful white chocolate and raspberry bread pudding. The bread pudding itself is just made with white chocolate, and then we have white chocolate sauce and a raspberry sauce on top with fresh raspberries and fresh whipped cream.
All right, let's get into this. It's very comforting, and the raspberry is perfect because it just brightens it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So tell me about, this is the Megna, right? And this seems like it would be a perfect accompaniment for this as well.
Because the bread pudding is not too sweet, surprisingly.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I love that. I mean, kudos to the bar team for pairing it well. It's fantastic. So thanks again for having us.
Thank you very much for coming down.
I want to give a huge thanks to the entire team here at Matrix Room and Meg's Lounge. Everything going on here at the Matrix Club, between the global events and of course the amazing international cuisine, is bringing our community together in such an exciting way. I hope you get down here soon, and I hope you stick around for our next bite on Naper Bites.
Thanks for joining us here on NCTV 17. And now you know.
From 630 Naperville, I'm Paige Ronchetti.
And I'm Nathan Ronchetti. See you next time.